We're going to talk about adoption, and this being Microsoft's biggest challenge. So we spoke about the timeline of Office 365, and Office 365 has been around about 10 years. Office 365, as we mentioned, is built up of a number of building blocks, and the most widely adopted is Exchange. A number of these other building blocks are largely neglected today. This is important when selling Office 365 to understand this, from a number of reasons. The first reason is when you're selling this, you need to understand your user base. You need to understand their requirements. Do they just want to use Exchange, or do they want to use other parts of Office 365? Do they want to use SharePoint? Do they want to use Yammer? Do they want to use Delve? Do they want to use other parts of Office 365 as well? This is really important to understand so that you can sell the solution, but also we don't want to just sell solutions where people are just going to use Exchange and they're going to ignore these other parts of Office 365. We want to be able to sell solutions where adoption of those solutions is also key. So it's important to understand a couple of things here. The first is to understand the innovation curve. So the innovation curve is interesting, but it's also important to understand that we are innovating at a faster pace than our ability to learn today. That's the first thing. It's really important to understand that. That shift actually changed about 10 years ago. If you go back 10 years ago, we were actually learning faster than we were innovating. What brought about that shift? It was actually the cloud, and cloud technologies actually brought about the shift in pace in technologies where innovation was actually outpacing our ability to learn. If you look at the Microsoft roadmap, there's anywhere between 150 and 250 active changes in their roadmap at any point in time. This is staggering when you think about it. It's important to understand that from a sales perspective, because those are challenges that we can solve. So how do we broach that from a sales perspective? Well, we broach it because the solution to this is by providing a managed solution. No customer can solve this on their own. No customer can say, I'm going to take on Office 365 and I'm going to drive this solution on my own. It's too fast. The solution is growing too much and too quickly for them to take on all of that burden on their own. So a managed solution is answer number one. Solution number two is the integration of adoption technologies. This is the second part where a third-party adoption tool can really help the partner. If there is adoption and if there is training built into Office 365, then the innovation curve and the learning curve can be greatly reduced. Number three, and finally, and we've spoke about this in previous videos, is alignment of the strategies. If we can align the strategy of what Office 365 is going to be used for, then we can actually be more efficient with Office 365. So for example, if you buy a bundle, but you only want to use 1, 2, and 3, then you can disable the components you don't want to use. So again, from a selling perspective, it's important to understand what third-party providers can do to help clients be more efficient and more effective with Office 365. Thank you.